Hello everybody, it's Keely O'Brien here and welcome back to my channel Crafting with Keely, and today I wanted to show you one of my cut and collage books that I've published. I absolutely adore mushroom illustrations. Pretty little spotty mushrooms, woodland themes, they're just my thing. I grew up with those kind of vintage illustrated books, and there was a lot of fairies and little gnomes and elves and pixies, and so often there were mushrooms in the picture. And I know so many crafters adore to put little mushrooms in. They're just so satisfying, and also they're quite easy to cut out. Okay, so before I take the scissors to this book, where are my scissors? Oh, here they are. Before I cut this up with my scissors, I'm going to show you all the way through this whole cut and collage book, because you might want to get your hands on a copy. So, as you can see, there's a real flavour of what's coming up inside. This is me, Keely O'Brien. Look at that teeny mushroom. Oh, so cute. Okay, right, sensible head on. Come on, Keely. Vintage mushrooms, cut out and collage. By the way, you can of course find this book on Amazon. I'll put all the links you need in the description. They make great presents as well. If you have a crafter relative or friend and you need to ensure they're going to be thrilled when they open their present, Christmas, whatever, birthday, anniversary, whatever it is, they are going to love you for this, because just look, this is not even the actual book page. Look at all these beautiful teeny weenies. So yeah, crafters love different sizes of images for different projects. So there's lots of little tiny ones here. Now these would be perfect if you make artist trading cards, because they're 2.5 by 3.5. Correct me if I'm wrong. So these would fit. You could fit 2 or 3 or just one with a little elf or a fairy or some random creature or person sitting on the top or hiding underneath like a little umbrella. So versatile. Anyway, look, there are over 400 illustrations in this book, 46 pages for you to cut out and collage. Now, I love to make my own collages, and certainly at the beginning of publishing, I just did not have the time. I was working full-time and also publishing my books, getting up early, spending a few hours working on the book. So I really didn't have any time for crafting, although now I am really focusing on doing my own crafts and sharing them with you so you can see just what you could maybe create with my books. So you can see I've sort of layered lots and lots of different mushrooms here. You could use that as a way of, and look at this little girl, isn't she just adorable in her cute mushroom hat. So yeah, I layered and layered all those mushrooms and put them in a woodland background with the sunlight shining through. So here we are, page number 1. So you will find some of these mushrooms are repeated throughout the book on different scales. So if you've used it once, you don't necessarily have to feel you've lost that mushroom forever. It'll probably pop up somewhere else in a different size. Now, I have a thing about, if you've watched my floral vintage flower book flip through, you will know that I am obsessed with botanical art. So yeah, these are genuine old illustrations from beautiful botanical art books, and oh gosh, they're just, oh, I'm lost for words. Look how stunning they are. I just love the colours, and these little baby ones, look, so teeny. But you could cut that whole thing out and maybe use it as a background, or you could use it in a junk journal just as an interest page. You can make it a journaling card. It was quite big. These would make good journaling cards in a junk journal. Green, look, who knew? And so a lot of these illustrations would have been done before photography really took off, because they're really old vintage illustrations. So some of these were the first records anybody really had of what exactly some of these species of mushroom looked like. So the early botanical art did serve that purpose as well as just being pretty, or, you know, it was really an informative exercise and a recording of what these amazing little plants, fungi are like. It's like a little umbrella. You could easily put a lady under there, couldn't you? Or an elf or something like that, or a gnome if you like. I can't get my words out today. If you like gnomes. So here we've got some teeny tiny ones as well, and a few black and white ones. Oh, by the way, if you hadn't actually twigged, this has the creamy background like my Vintage Flowers book, because that first series of books that I used, all these vintage illustrations, I really wanted to give that vintagey feel. So look at some of these, purple, orange, sort of raspberry colours. They're just to die for. I love them. Sorry, I just get carried away. I get so carried away by botanical art. And I live near Kew Gardens, if you haven't heard me talking about that. It's the most amazing place. Haven't seen many. Actually, I have seen some mushrooms. Last time I was there, I saw a little spread of mushrooms under a huge tree. I think it was, I don't know, an oak tree or something. But there was a little trail of mushrooms underneath. And often you see these types of mushrooms growing on the actual bark of trees there as well. I've sometimes seen that. They're just amazing. They look like a kind of little staircase for the fairies to climb up the tree. They're like little steps, little bits of fungus growing there. So I love this green one. Look at that. It's quite silvery looking as well. More botanical pages. There we go. And there's some really unusual species here. Look at this ruffly one. It looks like one of those natural sea sponges, doesn't it? Love the velvety look of this gorgeous gold mushroom here. Anyway, you get the idea. And to add a bit more fun and interest, I wanted to include some proper vintage book illustrations that people have been inspired by. Look at this fairy and little elf having a little kiss over the mushroom. And this one, he's just coming out of his little mushroom home, look, and he's got a pet snail. He's tied him up, poor snail. I suppose it's like a pet dog. These illustrations probably go back, 100 years, maybe longer. Hilarious. Not sure about those. They just made me laugh so much I had to include them. Yes, anyway, right, here we have classic lovely red mushroom. Again, these would make fantastic journaling cards, or you could use them as pockets in a junk journal. They'd be just beautiful. Or if you make if you're a card maker, you could use these to make like birthday cards, something like that, if you've got somebody who loves all this kind of mushroomy goodness. So how about that? It's even got a handle like an umbrella, hasn't it? And this little family of mushrooms, they're more like the ones I saw at Kew Gardens, actually. Can you see those? Just so adorable. And look at these guys. He's got a king's crown on his head. So that would be so cute in a junk journal about mushrooms, wouldn't it? Or perhaps a woodland themed one. Now, whoever this artist was, Mary E. Eaton, look, it is that is her name on there. It even says the size relative to the actual mushrooms. So very informative for, you know, botanists and people. Yeah, so that blue background with that yellow, I just love it. It makes that yellow really pop. And, oh, it would be amazing. I want to make a junk journal with these now. So, yeah, maybe I will. Perhaps I will. Autumn is on its way. I'm even though we've only just started summer here in the UK with the weather. But yeah, I think I will be making something exciting with these and maybe some of my other autumn themed books. So yeah, there's some more slightly different style botanical illustrations there, and so many different colours. I mean, you know, if you wanted just to stick to brown you could, but there's all these other sort of colour themes going on as well. There's quite a few yellows and obviously the famous red spotty mushroom. Look at that, absolute classic. Some more of Mary E. Eaton's illustrations. Oh, I'm going to have to use those for something. Oh, I've got crafting again. So there's loads of pretty, well, a few pretty fairy illustrations there. They've all got mushrooms somewhere. Look, they're having a tea party. What could be more cute than that? And there they're sitting, having a little collaboration. They're having a jam session. Look, she's maybe singing, he's playing the flute, and the frogs, I don't know what he's doing. But anyway, oh, and these, look, some mushrooms at the front. And she's actually in a little fairy ring of mushrooms at night in the woods with the bunnies. Oh my goodness, cute and overload. When I was little, I used to live in a world where I imagined all of this stuff was real. I really was living the life away with the fairies. And witches, they were a big thing in my brain as well. Fairies, witches, gnomes, elves, you get the idea. Okay, some of these gorgeous red mushrooms. I actually used that for my logo for quite a long time, so you might recognise it for my books. And a beautiful big plate there by Mary Eaton. Remember, these pictures are really, really old, so the quality of them does look a little bit soft and it's not as sharp as you might get images today. And that's because these are, that's how the illustrations would have been. It was just the style. And they're old, and probably the photography of them, you know, they've deteriorated over the years too. So that's the reason. So beautiful. There's a gorgeous green one there. Oh, I can't wait to cut this up. Although it's quite hard to bring myself to cut up my own books, as you've probably heard me say before. So these are great. They're just those sort of beautiful, natural, soft colours. Those would go in so many projects, don't you think? Look at this. It's kind of like a fur coat. Wonderful. And look at the size of that. If you're making like a collage with, you know, something bigger, maybe something on a, oh, I don't know, a bigger collage, you might want to use that. Oh, what am I just trying to say? A canvas. A canvas. I know, like Frill Art, for example, she makes jelly print canvases, but a great big mushroom like that, what can I say? Add it to a canvas. It certainly makes a focal point. Okay, here we go. Some more, another little cute umbrella one. I wish I knew all the names for these, but sadly I do not. That is stunning, is it not? And isn't it amazing? Nature has actually made these somehow. It's just astonishing, the variety, isn't it? There's lots of these little ones because I know those are super popular when people are making like woodland craft and so on. Some more botanical, more unusual species there in those botanical illustrations. And look at this, pale blues, like duck egg blue mushrooms there. So, so adorable. And these, great for adding to any project really that requires this kind of thing. Some more, those would be good for journaling cards as well, wouldn't they? And oh, look at their little hats. Oh, and this guy, look at his head. It's a pine cone. Why wouldn't you? That one's actually quite hairy looking, you know, when the skin of the mushroom starts to peel. I just love the variety. Some more botanical pages. Loads of mushrooms on there. There must be maybe 20 mushrooms on that page. Listen, if you get this book, you are not going to run out of mushrooms anytime soon. And if you do, you can always buy it again, can't you? Okay, there's some of the white background there. All different. So if you didn't want a cream background, but you wanted to have a collection of mushrooms, those pages are for you. Oh, fantastic mushrooms on that page. Oh, look. Surprise, surprise. More mushrooms. Very pretty, aren't they? Okay, right, that's enough mushrooms for now. As you can see at the back here, I also have a vintage birds, vintage marine life and vintage flowers book in this series. And if you have the book, the QR code will help you find me, although you have found me now on YouTube. So I'll put the link in the description. There are over 400 mushroom illustrations in this book. So like I say, you're really not going to run out of mushrooms anytime soon. This will last you probably 4 years. Depends how much crafting you get time to do, really. If you're anything like me, it's like a guilty pleasure, and you can run up to your craft room, and whenever you've got a bit of time and you haven't got other stuff to do, you're not at work, you haven't got to like wash your socks or iron your whatever, pajamas. I never iron my, I don't even own any pajamas. But anyway, whenever you've got some spare time, if you love to craft, you will have so much fun with this book. And like I said, these are easy to cut out. Compared to some of the fiddly diddly things, these are going to not take very long to cut out, and they go together so well. Oh, do you know what? If you have bought this book, or if you're about to, I would absolutely love if you could write me a review on Amazon. That would be immense. Let me know in the comments if you've bought this book, or if you're going to pop it in your cart. Let me know if you love fairies and mushrooms and elves and all that kind of stuff. Or just say hello. That would be amazing. If you know someone who would like this as a gift, fantastic. Maybe you could get it for them. Anyway, I am going to stop going on about mushrooms now in my books. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.